my name is Niharika and welcome back to a new lesson. Today we are going to look at some vocabulary related to drinking. Yes, I'm talking about drinking liquor. Well, of course, we all like going out. We go out drinking to a pub, to a restaurant, or to a bar. And yes, drinking has become pretty common. So I thought that some vocabulary would definitely be useful to you the next time you go out drinking. So let's have a look here. Now, the word liquor, we refer liquor to alcoholic beverages, okay? And alcohol is an ingredient which is present in wine, beer, and spirits, okay? So we refer to the word liquor for alcoholic beverages, and alcohol is an ingredient, okay? Now let's have a look at a word here that is sober. Now when you go out drinking and when you have no alcohol in your body, this means that you are sober. So possibly you haven't started drinking yet, okay? So this means there's no alcohol present in your body. So, which means you are sober, okay? And make sure you are sober if you are driving back home, okay? Let's have a look at another word here, that is bartender. Now, when you walk into a bar, you go up to the bartender and you ask for a drink. So who is a bartender? Well, bartender is a person who makes your alcoholic beverages, okay? So he's the man behind the bar in a licensed establishment. And that person is called as a bartender, okay? Then let's have a look here. We have the word brewski. Now, for all you beer drinkers, brewski is a slang word for beer, okay? So rather than saying, oh, I'll have some beer, you can always use the word brewski, that I will have some brewski, okay? So brewski is a slang word for beer. Okay, now many a times you might have heard people saying, get me a cold one. So a cold one is also a slang for beer, okay? Alright, then we have pitcher or a pint. Now what is a pitcher? When you go to a bar, you might have heard people ordering for a pitcher. Now of course, if you are more than 2 or 3 people who are going to drink beer, then it makes sense to order a pitcher, because a pitcher is a large jug which contains beer, and it is pretty good to fill up around 3 or 4 glasses of beer, okay? So if you are a big group drinking beer, then order for a pitcher. Whereas a pint is a bottle of beer, a small bottle around approximately 500 milliliters of beer, okay? So that's a pint. So if you are the lone drinker, a beer drinker, then you can order for a pint, okay? Then we have a heavy drinker. Now most of the times you would like to tell people that what kind of a drinker you are. So if you drink too much of liquor, this means that you are a heavy drinker, okay? And if you really don't drink a lot, this means you are a social drinker, okay? Social drinker means you just have a glass or 2. You really don't drink to get intoxicated, okay? So this means you are a lightweight or a social drinker. But if you drink a lot, okay, you really get high, then this means that you are a heavy drinker, okay? Then let's have a look here. We have hard liquor. Now what is hard liquor? Of course, we have beer and we have wine, but hard liquor is scotch, whiskey, and vodka and rum, okay? So spirits like scotch, whiskey, vodka, and rum, these are hard liquor, okay? Then we have aperitif. Now aperitif is an alcoholic beverage, okay? It's kind of a cocktail which is taken before a meal with an appetizer. It is said that it stimulates your appetite. So most of the people take aperitif, which is an alcoholic beverage, before a meal. Okay, to stimulate your appetite. The next we have is cocktails and mocktails. Well, I always prefer drinking cocktails because they taste pretty good. Now, cocktails is a mixture of alcohol, well, spirits like vodka or maybe rum and whiskey. Okay, it's mixed with different kind of juices, lots of ice, crushed ice, and some lime. It's basically a mixture of drinks, okay? And you might have heard about mojitos, you might have heard about daiquiris and margaritas, screwdrivers, cosmopolitans. So these are all the names of cocktails, okay? So for example, a mixture of pineapple juice with some vodka is a pina colada. Or a mixture of orange juice with some vodka is a screwdriver. Okay, so these are the types of cocktails that you might order. Trust me, everybody likes this. And of course, we have mocktails. Now, mocktails are similar to cocktails, but without any alcohol added to it. Okay, of course, it's derived from the word mock. Mock means to imitate. So it kind of imitates cocktails, but it's a non-alcoholic beverage, okay? And most of the bars have virgin mojitos, virgin screwdrivers, virgin cosmopolitans. So this means that it has no alcohol in it, okay? But it tastes great. And of course, we do take our spirits in various forms. Some people prefer it on the rocks. Now, on the rocks means you pour the liquor in your glass, okay, it's undiluted, and we add some ice cubes. Okay, so it's undiluted liquor, it's not mixed with anything, but it has ice cubes, okay, so that's what many men prefer drinking it on the rocks, okay. Then many men also prefer drinking neat. Neat means, again, it's undiluted, it's a direct pour in your glass and you drink it up, okay, it's straight up, right? So that is a neat, okay. And of course, then we have shots. Well, of course, when everybody is so drunk, we always like to order, okay, it's time for some shots. So shots are, of course, again, it's liquor, maybe at times mixed with different kind of juices or some sweeteners, or maybe even direct undiluted liquor in small tiny glasses, okay. And you might have heard or you might have seen people taking shots. It's super fun when you are with your friends, okay. You might have heard of tequila shots, the most famous tequila shots. So that's served in tiny glasses. Okay, so these are some words that would help you the next time you go out in a bar. And now let's have a look at some slangs. Now there are many slang expressions and idioms to describe a person who is extremely drunk or maybe not so drunk. Okay, so let's have a look at some slangs here. We have the word tipsy. Now usually people say, oh, I feel a little tipsy. So tipsy means that you're slightly drunk. Okay, so you're not extremely intoxicated, but you're slightly drunk, okay? You're kind of enjoying the foolish and the unsteady feeling. So that is when you feel tipsy, okay? Then we have bombed. Well, you can use the expression bombed. Well, he was completely bombed after he downed the bottle. So bombed means that he was extremely drunk, okay? Extremely intoxicated. Okay, so you can use the expression bombed, right? Then we have 3 sheets to the wind, which means that you are extremely drunk. So if you see someone, if your friend is way too drunk, you can always use this expression saying, well, he seems to be 3 sheets to the wind. So where does this expression come from? Well, it belongs to the sailor's language. Well, you might have seen these boats. They have these huge fabric tied to the boat, right? So these are the sheets which are tied, which helps the boat to move forward with the wind, okay? And if these sheets are loosened, then of course the boat would lurch, right? So when you are extremely drunk, you are not steady, right? You tend to lurch. So that's where maybe this expression comes from, okay? So you seem to be so drunk that you're 3 sheets to the wind, okay? The next one that we have is plastered. Now plastered also means that you are way too drunk. So I went out partying and I was totally plastered. So this means I was totally intoxicated. And where does this slang come from? Well, it belongs to the medical world. This means that you have a plaster on and you feel no pain. So that's what I'm assuming, that that's where it comes from. Okay? And then the last one that we have is hungover. Now, of course, if you have had too much of drinks last night and the next morning you feel really sick, you have a bad headache and you feel a little pukish, so this means that you are hungover. Okay, so if you are feeling sick, you can always say I am having a bad hangover, or you can say I am hungover. Okay, so this means you had too much of alcohol last night and you feel really sick. So these are the expressions that would help you to talk about a person who is maybe way too drunk, or maybe slightly drunk, or maybe is feeling a little sick. So I hope this lesson is helpful for you. And the next time you go out drinking, you can use all of this vocabulary, right? And I will see you soon in your next lesson. Till then, you take care.